Too clever,
but
but
too lazy.
I believe we're on episode cinco for our Spanish listeners who also speak English because that's the only word I'm going to use that's in Spanish.
Sí, sí.
See, see. Oh, yeah, you know what? Two words. You know what? Dos. We'll go with fuck it, 3 words.
We're multicultural up in
Right.
aquí.
I did do like 20 minutes on Rosetta Stone yesterday, so I'm feeling pretty multicultural. You know what I'm saying?
There you go,
Yeah, yeah.
Who said you can't learn anything?
So here's my weird thought of the day. I guess I'll throw it out there while you sift through your whatever you're doing. So I was talking to somebody about, I forgot exactly what it was, but then I was like, dude, I could totally picture that smell. I was like, is that a thing? Can you picture a smell?
Sometimes, yeah.
Is that how you would say it though?
It depends on the context. Like, I need more from the story, because I mean, like, sorry, I can't find my words.
All right.
It's like, I don't know, because I smell the beach and like I think about, like I smell beach air and I think about sitting on the beach. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right. So you can like pick, yeah. Okay. So that's all I'm saying. I think
but
it actually
because I mean,
was something. Go ahead.
oh, never mind. Sorry.
I was
What?
gonna say it was something. I believe it was something to do with fish, like a pungent fish smell. And I was like, dude, I'm like, it's like I could totally picture that smell because like we used to work at this fish place. I think that's what it was. And when you come around the block, like you could come around the corner where the fish place is located, you can get away with it, you know. And
Yeah.
I think that's what we're talking about. I was like, I could totally picture that smell. And I was like, is that how you would say it though? Is it picture the smell or how else would you say it though?
I don't know. Picture the smell is pretty good though. Like I could
Yeah,
see the smell.
right. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. I think that's how you
That's
do it.
like when that's like when Maria, we were all so I think it was when her and I came back from the Bay Area. We drove back, remember that? And we had all
Yeah,
that
yeah. Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
all that
The contraband.
yeah. We were so dead tired and like you were without sleep too. Like we were all up and weird. Okay, you'll get your turn.
I know, right? Jeez.
And she's like videoing us because she wanted to she's like, so you could see how you hear.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
meant to say, so you
Yeah.
could see how you sound, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Similar. Yeah. Picture the smell. Also, here's another one too. While we're on the subject of just thoughts of and this is also why I agree with you. We should go to a weekly format because I heard this phrase like a week and a half ago, but it's been stuck with me. And it was the phrase was, and even after she left, he continued to manipulate the dildo.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's been stuck with me. Like manipulate, like he's isolating the dildo from its family, or like he's like, well, mom already said it's okay, so the dildo's dad in the situation. Like, how would you manipulate?
Dildo Baggins.
Yeah, how would you
Sorry, that just came into
how
my
would you
head.
manipulate dildo Baggins? And then of course that was that was classic. Who heard Bilbo when they were a kid or at any age and didn't automatically go dildo Baggins?
Dude, I have a funny oh God, I don't know if I want to tell this.
There's editing. There's editing. You can always tell just me if you want.
But anyway, my little brother was over for dinner one night and we were, just talking about random shit. And I can't remember how we got on this subject, but he
Right.
was talking about like coming on girls' faces. And I was like,
Okay.
dude, because I'm trying to remember what we were talking about. Because I said something, because there's like a show on or something. And I said something. He's like, no, actually. I was like, nobody likes that. Okay.
Right.
And he's like, oh, yeah, they do. And then he kept like going on about it.
Mhm.
And my son's sitting right there. But I mean, he's 17 at the time.
Right. Yeah. So
It's
it's not like
whatever.
right.
And and I was just like, dude, that's fucking disgusting, regardless of like how much you think they love it and how much you
Mhm.
enjoy doing that. Like,
Sure.
I'm your sister. I don't want to hear about this. Like, that's fucking disgusting.
Also true.
And it was funny because like he was my stepdad's handyman when he was when he was here, right? So
Yeah.
anything that needed to be fixed or done around my house, my little brother would do it. So he was over helping paint my bathroom, and it was funny because I like redid everything, like the cupboards, I painted them black and everything. I took all my stuff out so that he could, God damn it.
All right. I think they took them in the room with them. So go ahead. You painted covers. Okay. That's another one too. When everyone says paint it black, I just automatically hear that song and start singing
I
that
know,
song.
me too. Yeah. Or if I see a red door in my
Yes.
head, I'm
Yes.
like, I want to paint it black. So I clear out everything so he could paint these cupboards, but I guess I forgot these drawers. And like the one of the drawers in my bathroom has all my heating tools in it, my blow dryer, all that stuff. And I have this blow dryer attachment that you put over your head like at the salon, and it hooks to the bottom of your blow dryer, so it's like this big overhead kind of hair dryer thing. It just
Sure,
surrounds your whole head, whatever.
sure.
Well, in the hose of it, I put my vibrator
Okay.
because I can't store it in my
Right
room.
now,
I
yeah, I
have
got you.
nosy children, you
Sure.
know. So I store it in my bathroom, okay?
Hmm.
And I forgot to, empty out this drawer.
Hmm.
And my little brother, like, I come home and he had finished painting everything, but I noticed, I was like, oh my God, that drawer. And then I
Yeah.
looked where he put it and I could tell it fell out, you know? And
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like mortified. I was like,
Right.
oh my God. And then I'm like, you know what? No. I was like, that's what you get for talking about coming on girls' faces and shit. Like, it's like, that's what you get.
Now you had to touch your sister's vibrator.
No, you don't touch it. Just look at it. Just see it.
Yeah.
You have to see it.
Right, right.
Well, and I have this I have this fucking large gua sha tool that like vibrates, but it also does
I'm
light
sorry,
therapy.
what? What's it called?
It's a gua sha tool. It's like that stuff you rub on your face for like lymphatic
Uh-huh.
drainage and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And this tool I have has a section on it that does the red light and the blue light. It's like really good for your skin or some shit,
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
But he found that one too, but I don't know. He kind of put that one somewhere, but I was thinking he's probably like,
How
how many
futuristic
vibrators
are
does
your
she have? Yeah. I know, it's funny. I was like, ha. But anyway, that's my vibrator story.
That's your vibrator story. Right, right, right. Well, yeah,
And
I
it's kind of funny. Vibrators nowadays come with rechargeable batteries. Like you don't have to steal them from the remote anymore.
right, yo,
There's,
yeah, that's I mean,
there's
obviously
times Max would be like, Mom, why doesn't the remote work?
right. No, that's like I had a joke like that. Like if you have a teenage boy, you're gonna find hard socks, but if you have a teenage girl, you're just gonna find remotes that don't work, you
Yeah,
know.
I have no batteries in it. I know, right? The
So
worst
it's
part though is when you need to use it and then it either dies right before you're ready for it to die
right.
or it just doesn't turn on. And then you gotta wait like 2 fucking hours for it to
Yeah, no,
charge.
that does have to suck. I'm so glad that like as a man, I just need like at most if I want to get fancy with it, like a bottle of lotion. You know what I mean? But I had a friend though growing up, and he had like speaking of trying to stash stuff, he had like like the torso portion of his like favorite porn star. She had made like a mold
Oh God.
of like the torso portion. So it was like from like the mid thigh up to like the neck. It was
That's kind of creepy. You're just fucking the
where do you stash
CPR
that?
doll.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Where do you
Are you
stash
doing
that?
chest compressions while you're while
Mhm,
you're
mhm.
thrusting? Like and one and two and three and
Learning and coming. That's the best way to do
I
it.
know that's funny. Your patient's dying. I can't help it. I'm coming.
Too clever, too late, too late.
Too late. Pew 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 pew. For my stories, I found this one and it's that one I sent you.
Was
The
the one that was
picture.
tying into my
Yeah.
last.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So for
I
our
need the whole story on this, dude. Yeah.
listeners, if they remember, I think it was episode 2 when you were talking about the guy who ran from child support and you were saying, why didn't he just make his wife dead?
Right.
Well, there's a Maryland woman who was left frightened and surprised as a text informing her that she was officially dead popped up in the Maryland DMV system. I got a little frightened because I'm not gonna lie, and surprised because I'm alive. I'm here. And that line made me crack up from Step Brothers. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm burying you." And he's like, "Why? I'm alive.
I'm alive.
I'm alive."
But hold on. So she got a text. That's how they tell her. By
I
the way,
know.
you're dead.
We regret to inform you,
That
ma'am,
you're
that
that
you're
you're dead.
dead.
Normal text rates may apply.
I know, right? Contact your carrier for more information.
Yeah. Why would they
Um,
send a text to the dead person anyway? That makes
I
no
think
sense.
it
Well,
was, well, I think what they were saying is it was something that popped up in the system at the DMV when she was there that was like, oh, by the way, this person's dead. Um,
Oh, well, I guess 'cause I know people they do that with like fake. They'll use fake social security of dead people, not fake, but of like dead people. So I
yeah.
guess maybe that is a scam they're trying to
Oh yeah,
stop. You know what
totally.
I mean? So I guess I could see that, but yeah, that sucks that she went to the DMV and
Well,
like,
I read on in the article and it was
yeah, go
really
ahead.
sad. It kind of made me feel bad because I had a little snafu with the Social Security office recently too. And so this was all
Hit a
their
little
fault.
home, right?
Yeah, it hit a little home for sure.
All right, good.
Um,
Explain.
because this whole snafu was their fault. It sucks. But like her health insurance dropped her. It got canceled. She's asthmatic, so she needs regular inhalers. And my ex-husband's asthmatic, and that shit's expensive. Ugh,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
trying to
know.
get them, like it's oh my God. And she has kids too. She's like crying. She's like, this really messed up my life.
Right.
And they realized that the mistake, quote, mistake, was a result of a typo by the Social Security Administration. They said this mistake happens 10,000 times a year.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit. Granted, my snafu wasn't anybody's fault. They just sent this form to my old address, but still,
Right.
it
Still
was like,
annoying.
yeah, like I kind of, because I wanted to tell the story as a joke, but then I'm like, I don't know, that's really sad.
Yeah, they have this sad music,
hmm
violins playing. We should add some violins to the end of it.
No sex and no violins. Ah. Okay,
Wow, you really committed to that photo you sent me of like what is this, a school for ants? Is that like a t-shirt idea?
that should be. There's the fucking,
It's
it was a
hilarious.
fucking Snapchat filter I saw, and that's the first thing that popped in my head, and I was like, if anyone will laugh at this.
Yeah, of
But
course.
you didn't. You were like, that's creepy.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
it's because I knew you were expecting an LOL or a laugh. I was like, I can't
I know.
expect
And then my
the
fucking
basics.
profile picture, I changed my profile picture because I could not stop laughing. I had tears and I got one laugh. Like
Really?
I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with people? That's funny. And like Stephanie was like, I don't get it. She was like, is it just like a pickle? Are you referring to? I was like, it's a filter.
Yeah, that's just your face as
It's
a
like,
pickle.
damn it, people. I don't
It's
care. I
good,
think it's
good, clean
hilarious.
fun. It's just good, clean fun. You're ahead of your time. They just don't
I
understand.
am. I'm way ahead of my time. They'll appreciate me after I'm gone.
Right, yeah. That's how always happens.
I know.
And yeah, and then you could start marketing that pickle shot you were so, adamantly trying to.
I know. That comes out perfect timing. Actually, is that the, oh no, that's not yet. That pickle episode is last episode, I think. So, and that's not for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, damn it.
I think it may have been episode 3 actually. I don't know.
I'm ahead of
I,
my
I'm so
time.
confused. Yeah, so am I.
No, I
As
really
far as
do.
what the
It
episodes
is
are.
episode 4 because we
All
just
right,
recently told that story. That shit,
right. And you do edit all the episodes. I mean, you would know better, much better than I would.
I do know better than you.
I just leave it at
I'm
that.
glad you finally said it.
Do 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 do. Like this episode. uh, no,
Okay,
but
so
anyway, so yeah, next week it seems like you have more. Sims like you have more.
yeah, I have 3 more. They're great.
I'll be
So
the judge of that. So,
actually, I have 4, but I don't know. The fourth one, it kind of sad. Anyway,
jeez,
oh, I know. Well, I read, I'm like, oh, ha, ha, and then as it goes on, I'm like,
right.
damn.
Fucking depressing. All right.
And that says a lot about my cognitive abilities
Right.
more,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than anything. So I'm like, oh,
What you're
tragedy,
drawn
that's
to.
fucking hilarious. And I'm like,
Right.
wait,
Right.
no, it's not.
But comedy is only tragedy plus time. So just give these episodes like 2 or 3 years and they can be hilarious.
I know, right? People will be like, I get it. I get
Get
it.
it now. I get it now.
I get it.
Ah, it's
Okay,
outrageous.
so world chess #1 star Magnus Carlsen quits a
Okay.
major tournament in New York. He was there defending his titles when this incident occurred. He quits this tournament because he didn't want to change his pants. They have a strict dress code, and he was wearing everything else that he should have been wearing. It was just he was wearing jeans.
Hmm.
And so they asked him to change, and
Not
they
classy enough.
fined him $200.
Really? For
Yeah.
wearing jeans to the thing?
And
Do you
they
have to be
fined,
slacks or what? Pleats? He gets
I guess it's the pleats. That's the thing is they made him go change and then they still fined him and he was like, "No, I'm not paying that fine."
right.
And so he just quit and was like, "Fuck it." And what the funny part about this story is he went to lunch before he was set to go do the whatever you call it. And ended up changing his clothes. He's like, I changed my shirt, I changed my jacket. He's like, I even changed my shoes and my socks, but I didn't even think about my jeans. And he didn't change his jeans. And when they told him
Okay.
to change, he was like, you know what? He's like, no. He's like, I'm too old to care. This is where we are now. So he's like, nobody will back down. He's like, I'm not backing down. So he refuses to pay the fine and he will not go defend his titles.
Wow.
I was like, dude, that's pretty interesting. I don't know what I think about that, but you know.
Well, at first I thought you were going to tell me about that you said chess player, and I thought you were going to talk about have you heard of Hans Niemann?
Uh-uh.
All right. Well, this dude, he was a chess player. I'm gonna say a few years ago, but it was a huge rumor that he used vibrating anal beads. He stuffed them in his butt, and then he would use his friend, who was also watching the game, would tell him what moves to do by using these vibrating anal beads. And he won. It was incredible. That's what I thought that you were going to tell me about. Was like, I heard chess, and I was like, oh, she's totally talking about the anal bead story, dude, right? Totally. But no, but it's all to do with the pants, like lower region stuff.
That is weird.
And then
Yeah.
they made it's always sunny in Philadelphia episode. I'm pretty sure it was mocking that's this story because there's one with like Frank. He has to play Russia, and he has like they drug him, they roofie him, and put vibrating like hockey pucks in his blood or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's like, and the whole time when he's playing, like he wakes up and he's like, he has to play. And he's like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. And it's like, oh, Danny DeVito just sweating and drooling. So yeah, two chess stories, two chess stories.
Pew, 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 pew. Okay, here's my favorite story. This one is so good. You're gonna love it. Okay. Did you know that Liquid Death, the drink, you know Liquid Death?
Yeah,
I love Liquid Death. It's like my favorite of that kind of stuff. But anyway, they make a mosh pit diaper. It's black pleather, and
right.
it includes metal studs and chains. And it's designed to avoid the restrooms, the long lines
Oh
of
yeah,
restrooms at the venues. So you can
just shit
what
your pants.
yeah, you could just fucking and it's sold out.
Man, so we were like, that's a great idea. It's a solution to a problem that we all have.
Well, okay. It's like, this is the quote from the article. If
Yeah,
you've been to a concert, you know the scariest place isn't the mosh pit, it's the bathroom.
sure.
Now you can avoid having to brave that hellscape with the new mosh pit diaper, adding that it helps fans relieve themselves in the safety of the mosh pit. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's fucking insane. What are you talking
I don't
about?
like, can you imagine some guys out there moshing, all of a sudden he stops for a second?
Back to the pit, bro. I didn't have to face those horrors. Hell yeah. Now I can mosh
Are-
harder without the face of those horrors. He's really focusing.
Oh man, that
Why? And then and you said it like it's sold out.
yeah, it's sold out like quickly. Like I think
And
the first day or something like that.
here's the fucked up part. It's probably like what like one person bought a bunch of them and it's just now like marking up the prices and selling them on
Selling them on yeah,
yeah on like
selling them on
eBay or
Amazon.
something like that. Yeah, they could do that too.
I know
Sell
that
off some
shit was
stuff on
crazy.
Amazon.
Well, and I thought it was hilarious who was the one selling them because you know Steve-O owns Liquid Death.
I feel like I did. I heard about that. Yeah,
So
it
it's
wasn't like
right on par with his
right,
fucking
right,
weird ideas. But it's
sure.
funny, like they put a picture of it. I guess some drummer was marketing it. He's in the ad for it, and he's moshing on the dance floor or dance floor. There's no dance
Why
floor.
not? Sure. Yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. Moshing on the dance floor. That's a song of some kind.
I was moshing on the dance floor.
That's a song, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe even a whole album title. I don't even know. But yeah.
But
After
yeah.
they got done moshing on the dance floor, and then and then they never had to stop because they didn't have to face the horrors of the restroom.
Yeah, man. The mosh pit just kept going no matter how
Right,
bad the song sucked.
right. You know, now I'm coming around. I'm coming around to this invention now. In fact, you know what? I know what I'm getting you for. I guess your birthday and Christmas are pretty close together, so we'll figure it out. I need to get it to you sooner than later.
Why?
because we're going to a concert soon.
I thought you were implying something else. It's like, Dick, I am
What that you?
6 months older than you. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Oh, yeah.
so old.
Yeah. Do you know who Charlie XCX is?
No.
Yeah. I just hear her name a lot. I hear her name a lot. All right.
I feel like you're just making up names at this point.
No, there is a person named Charlie XCX, and she's extremely famous with the youth.
With the
Just
youths.
with the youths. You've seen my cousin Vinny.
Dude, don't even play. That is one of
Okay.
my favorite
Don't even
movies.
play. How dare
I
you?
how dare you? I fucking quote that all the time. No,
Yeah,
I was
where's
actually quoting Schmidt when he's like, youths.
oh, okay, that's fair. That'll work too.
But the two Utes, yeah, I
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
love that.
Two
I love
youths.
that movie.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei, she's so good in that one.
Right, yeah. No, yeah, her sunglasses go hard too.
Hmm.
Got some big ass like 80s sunglasses. Like
Yeah,
it
I
was
know.
like late 90s,
That's
early
what I
90s.
mean. Joe Pesci has some good stuff, but that literally is one of my favorite roles that he's done. It was so
No,
funny.
yeah, no, that one's yeah, and it was like the same. I think it was the same year they did Goodfellas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the same
Interesting.
year. So like, yeah, he went from that. I know. Oh, no, actually, no, he did Goodfellas and Home Alone in the same year.
Oh, nice.
So he was like, I guess they're both gangsters, but one was like,
They're both criminals.
yeah, what a
They're
good
not.
year for that guy though. Goodfellas and Home Alone were like two high grossing movies. He was paid.
Well, my cousin Vinny did really good
No, yeah, and
too.
that one's pretty good too. I'm saying so.
And I
Yeah,
think that one Marissa Tomei won awards for
I want to say that was the one
because
that
she
she was
won
for
something.
supporting. I'm gonna say supporting.
I love that movie.
Now, yeah, I could talk about that movie all day, but not really all day. But who would have happened to the other guy? Because there's Joe Pesci, there's Marissa Tomei, there's Ralph Macchio, and then there's the other guy.
I don't know the other guy's name. Did you
Exactly.
know? Did
No
you
one
know
does.
that the misunderstanding between Vince Gambini and the judge regarding the two Utes was in fact a real conversation between Joe Pesci and director Jonathan Lynn. Lynn, who is English at first, had a hard time understanding Pesci's pronunciation of that with his New York accent. So he decided that the routine was quite funny and put it in the film.
No, yeah, it worked. It's one of my most my favorite scenes, one of the most memorable scenes, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Or the one where he's like, I put this suit on for you, Yana, for you, because he made him train
You
shoot.
cannot do that accent at all.
I wasn't trying, all right.
My favorite though is when they first arrive into town and she gets out, she's like taking pictures and he's like giving her shit about looking like a tourist. And she's like, "Oh yeah, you blend." Because he's
Yeah,
got all the leather on too and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I
That
did
was
very
that's pretty
well
good.
in
That
that.
was that was more like it's the
You.
same voice as like Lois Griffin.
Mm-hmm. PETA.
Yeah.
My other story is there's a city in Oregon who had to ask residents to stop sticking googly eyes on its statues.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
googly eyes have popped up all over city art and statues throughout Bend, Oregon. The city spent $1,500 to remove them. One of the Facebook commenters said it cost $0 to leave them on.
Yeah, no, right, dude. That's pretty. What were they putting them on? Like,
This big circular, it was just this circle obelisk. Is that what it's
sure.
or sphere? There was this sphere statue, and in the middle had these two giant googly eyes. That was like the cover photo of the ad or
That's
the
awesome.
it
And
was. It
all
was
and
fucking
altogether,
funny.
it cost them $1,500.
Yeah, because apparently they were like the glue and the adhesive and blah blah blah. Because there's a phoenix statue they put it on,
Right.
and they're bitching about how the phoenix might need to be repainted. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no, not the repainting
But
the
see, the
Phoenix.
weird thing is the town put scarves and hats on all these statues because there's these deer that they put the googly eyes on too.
Right.
They're so funny.
Yeah. I can imagine it being great.
And
It's a great thing for the city.
and
Probably
so
drive
they put
tourism.
like yeah, so they put like scarves.
Well, okay. First
They
scarves.
they put scarves and hats. They
Yeah.
put scarves and hats on these deer and stuff, and the town doesn't do anything but put a googly eye.
Oh no, because here's the thing: the googly eyes have motion. There's liquid involved. It's like hazardous. They gotta get the county involved. It's a whole thing. I get it. I get
Yeah,
it.
it's just some bureaucrat being a dumbass.
So speaking, have you ever been to Oregon?
That place is called Bend, Oregon. Have you ever
Ooh,
been to Oregon?
yeah. I know what I'm doing. Now, have you ever been?
Yeah, I've driven through there. I haven't
Oh,
really
okay.
visited, but I've driven through there. Yeah.
Were you able to pump your own gas?
Like I said, I drove through there.
But I mean,
I
did you get gas? Pretty
No,
safe.
because I wasn't, this was back when I was like a teenager. My
Oh,
grandpa
okay.
owned a trucking company. So like we'd go up through Idaho and then
All right.
Oregon and up
All right.
to Washington for, it
All
was
right.
so cool. It was like my first time in the Pacific Northwest. It was really cool.
All right. So you've been, but you haven't really been. Yeah. So we I'm actually planning on going there to Portland for my 40th birthday. Gonna spend like a couple days up there.
Oh
But
man, going hard.
yeah, right. A few days. A few. But anyway, like we went there like when we were driving or down to California, and we stopped there for like a night on the way there and the way back, and it's like so you can't pump your own gas. You're not allowed to. Like they were like, I got out and they're like, get back in your car. It's very like seriously, and they're like get like mad, and I was like, why? And they're like, read the sign, and it was like, do not get out and pump your own gas. We pump the gas around these parts. And that was everywhere. That was like everywhere that I went in Oregon. The two places I went in Oregon.
Too clever, too late, too
Too
late.
late. Pew, pew, pew,
We're gonna
pew.
talk about segues.
I
Yeah,
am a
think about
genius.
think about Paul Blart's male cop. Is there a more recent example we could use that besides Paul Blart to tell people about segues?
No, I was thinking about Grandma's Boy when he was like, I am a genius.
Yeah,
He's
okay,
running around on the
that one
Segway.
too. That's even older example.
I fucking love that movie so much.
But yeah, but segues. Yeah, yeah. So okay, so originally heard that it was the inventor, but it turns out it was the owner of Segways that was actually killed while riding a Segway.
Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. But that actually got me thinking of inventors, a topic, inventors who were actually killed by their own
Oh,
inventions.
I could ask AI so I could like contribute to this shit too. I'll
Right,
read some
right,
stuff.
right. So there's a few. I mean, there's a few that are like they're kind of like I guess it's or some of them are like you didn't really invent that, so they were killed by something they like discovered, but not really invented. Like for instance, you know who Mary Curie is?
The name sounds familiar.
Right. Okay. So she was a Polish French physicist and chemist who conducted pioneering research in radioactivity, and she was credited for discovering radioactive polonium and radium. Right. But then in sometime in the 30s, she died from long-term
Oh,
exposure to
true, yeah.
radiation. Right. Which that's
It,
cool.
it it lines up. It makes
Right.
sense.
But it's not really funny. Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's one. Oh man, where's this? Okay, Franz Reichelt. Right now, this guy was a French tailor, and what he did was he invented a parachute coat. Right, and what he did was he somehow convinced the police and the public and everyone that he wanted to do a demonstration off of the Eiffel Tower. But don't worry, he was going to use a dummy. There's absolutely no way he was going to use a real person. He's not an asshole, right? But then at last minute, when none of them were looking, he swapped himself out with the dummy and just jumped off the Eiffel Tower in front of like cameras and everybody to his death. Didn't even
Damn.
like that. Well, here's the thing. I wish I had that kind of blind just confidence in myself, sober, because I had that kind of blind confidence, faded, but I can't
Oh my
drive
God,
around or
yeah.
anything. But sober, I'd be a rock star, or at least the head of sanitation for the county by now.
You
Something
would
big.
be the street sweeper in
There we
charge.
go, dude. Something big. If I had that kind of just, nope. This coat that I turned into a parachute. I'm gonna jump off the Eiffel Tower with it in front of a crowd. And I mean, there's footage, but it's not really good. But there are pictures you can look, and he looks ridiculous. And the fact that he just jumped off the Eiffel Tower, that's amazing. Did
Hmm. Oh yeah. That's
you find any though?
crazy.
Yeah, no, yeah, and there's plenty of them like that. Some of them were like, I guess one of them was like this guy who was killed by a car, but it was like the brand of car he invented. But he didn't invent cars. He didn't invent driving. He just invented this one brand of car, and he died in it. So I guess I mean it's going I guess, but it's not. I like more like the Segway. Like that guy made the Segway. There's no other thing like the Segway, and he died on it. But
I know. That's
he was just the guy who owned it though.
the
Uh-huh.
Flying Tailor. He was a tailor
That's the
who
one I just told you. I swear that's the one I just told you. Is
it
it? Yes.
is. Yeah, sorry, I was just going on. Yeah, it is. Yeah. He
Ah.
tested
Yeah,
a
it's still
tailor
ridiculous though.
a tailor who was tempted to create a parachute suit for aviators. He tested it himself by jumping off the Eiffel Tower in 1912, but the suit failed to deploy and he fell to this. Ugh, that's
Yeah,
sad.
yeah. But the thing is, like he like convinced like police like, come on, I'm gonna use a dummy. Like, and it was apparently it was already up in this like the dummy was already like strapped in and everything, and they're like, all right, fine, he's just gonna use a dummy. And then when they weren't looking, like he was like, ha ha, and he just changed it out the dummy and threw this thing on, and then just jumped to his death. Like it didn't even work
Damn.
for a second. You know what I
I
mean? It
know.
wasn't
So
like, oh,
basically, all he did was just jump off the
yeah,
Eiffel Tower.
yeah. There's yeah, he just with a giant audience.
Yeah.
Just like
Damn.
badass, dude. That's a bold. That's a way to go, though. He's got a Wikipedia entry, you know.
There you go.
And I'm sure they and actually I read there was like a book someone wrote about him too. So
Oh, there you go. See, people only
yeah,
care about you when you're gone.
yeah, posthumously, yeah.
The next one is Thomas Midgley Jr.
Ooh, a junior.
Midgley, he was the inventor of leaded gasoline and CFCs. I don't know what that means. Oh, chlorofluorocarbons. That's what CFCs are. Midgley developed tetraethyl leaded gasoline, which contributed to widespread lead poisoning. Oh wait, later he developed chlorofluorocarbons, which damaged the ozone layer. Ironically, he died from the device he invented, a pulley system to help him move after he became disabled from polio. He became
What?
entangled in it and was strangled.
So he invented like three things that like killed himself or
Well,
what?
he invented all this shit that just killed people.
Yeah,
Like,
but
not
it
only
fucked him up
him, just
too,
like,
right?
yeah, he's just like the inventor of death.
Right. And then he invented a machine
A
to help
machine
with
that
that.
killed him. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
some
fuck.
karma.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's not
Damn.
clever at all. It's Jesus.
Yeah, that's not clever or lazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
If you mix the words together, oh, I see what we're doing here.
clever and lazy. Crazy.
All right, so I
Cool.
got one. I got this William Bullock. He
Oh, that's my next one.
should we read together? Now you go ahead. I already said two. You can go ahead and say that one then.
No, you do it. Yeah,
All
because
right, yeah, because
Marie Curie is after him.
right, yeah. So anyway, it's he invented the web rotary printing press, right? And anyway, several years after his invention, his foot was crushed when they're trying to put a new machine in Philadelphia, apparently, and that wasn't what killed him. It was that it developed gangrene, and he died from it being amputated later on. But
Whoa.
originally and then the rotary printing press was the it was like a round printing press to print papers like in a continuous fashion. Does that make sense? Instead of it
Mhm.
being like just like a one at a time, you could continue to print because it's going around in a circle, blah blah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he invented that somehow. It's a giant machine though. If you get a chance to look at a picture of it, and it crushed his foot in Philly, and then gangrene, good old gangrene. Is gangrene still a thing?
Yeah, there was a dude I knew
Oof,
in elementary school.
oof,
He lost his arm like part at the elbow or something like that because he had
really?
gangrene when he was a little younger. And so, yeah, because they talked about it in class. I just saw that his arm was kind of half gone.
Not there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't ask about that kind of shit, but
No, yeah.
they talked about it in class and did a
Right.
presentation and
Shit.
and yeah, it was interesting. I was like, "Oh, damn." And I
I
can't
remember
remember how he got it either, but yeah, there was a kid I knew who had that.
I remember in like in fifth grade, like we had this huge like school wide like meeting or whatever and they were always like, hey, there's gonna be this new girl coming to our school who has to wear a mask because she's on a fire and she has to
Hmm.
wear a mask and nobody be a dick. And like, yeah, I was like it's kind of fucked up that they had to have a whole meeting to tell us that. But
I know,
anyway, I just
right?
remember that, yeah, this with this one girl like since like I knew her from like fifth grade through like it's like freshman year, she had to wear like a mask because she was in a fire, and she had to wear like
Oh,
the
wow.
crazy mask. But yeah, but she ended up getting it off, and she was looked great actually. Looked just fine, like her skin was fine and everything. But yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah,
I mean, it's cool that they like, that
yeah. They're
she
like, hey, nobody fucking talk shit. And we're like, yeah, we're not gonna talk shit. I mean, come on, we're dicks, but like this is the '90s, to get it. But Jesus, not
I
talk shit about
know.
a girl's face that was burnt, possibly burnt
But
off.
I
It's
mean,
fucked
it's
up.
cool that like they were able to fix, at
Yeah,
least
no, yeah, no. And then she was actually really like I remember she was really pretty too. Like when she finally did get off, she was actually like pretty, you know. Which on
that's
top of
cool.
her
Yeah.
skin just being like back to normal.
I know that's really lucky because
Yeah.
yeah, burns really, yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, I've
That's
always
like a
talked about
hu-
like the two worst ways to die, I feel would be it's between either drowning or dying from fire, I
I
feel.
don't know, because with fire, you go numb after a little bit, like you don't feel it because it
Right.
burn, and
That's so
also
yeah.
smoke inhalation. I think the burn treatment is worse than
That's what
dying in
okay,
a
so that's what I was
fire
gonna say.
because
My point
burn treatment is gnarly.
That was my
Like,
point too. I was gonna say if you actually do die from it, I would say fire is better because the pain goes way quicker. But I would say as far as like if you do happen to survive it with like drowning, maybe some brain damage, but you'll look fine. But like with fire, like even if you survive it, you're gonna be fucked up for a while.
oh yeah.
Even if
Like
you
that's always
survive
been
them,
a
like
huge fear is
yeah,
burn.
yeah.
Yeah, like there was this book I read and it was a really, really good book too. I can't remember if it had a religious undertone because I think it did because they sold it at like Mormon bookstores and
Mm,
stuff.
they all
But
do
it was
now.
a really good story about a woman and her husband. They were in like this tiny plane, but it crashed in a snowstorm in Utah. I think they were in like southern or like middle part of Utah and it crashed. And she had to like walk down the side of this fucking mountain to get rescue. I mean, her whole face was burned off, like the
Really?
skin on her arms were falling off. Like
Was it from fire or from ice?
no, from the fire. Yeah, from fire.
She was in a plane crash and she
Yeah,
caught fire, and then she had to walk down a mountain. Okay.
yeah, and I guess like part of the carpet of the floor or whatever was like stuck to her chest,
Oh
like
shit.
burned
Oh,
to her.
fused.
Oh yeah, it was just gnarly, like when she was talking about. But it was such a harrowing story. It was really good too. I
Did she
can't
sur
remember what it's called. I think it's like the burning within or the fire within. I don't know, but it's kind of just about her recovery and then,
Right.
turning to God and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
But like the story of what she went through was just wow. It was amazing. It was crazy.
Hmm.
And it kind of reinforced my fear of burn treatment. Because,
Right.
I mean, you even see it on TV and like the medical shows and stuff because they have
Right.
to irrigate it and morphine doesn't even touch that. So it's like, fuck. No.
Yeah. I just remember every time we Shallow Hal,
Yeah.
where anywhere like where he sees everyone like for their inner beauty for a while, and then he goes to, like the Gwyneth Paltrow's character, she like works at a burn victim for kids, and
Uh-huh.
he sees them as like cute kids, but then like when that wears off, and he sees them as all like they're like all like severely burned, and I'm like, yeah,
Uh,
man, like that takes like even if you survive it, like you don't, it takes years and years to maybe recover, and you're still gonna have skin grafts and all kind of weird
oh
shit too.
yeah. That's the sad part too, is if you're a kid, because your
Yeah,
skin doesn't stretch very well after
no,
that. And so it's
no.
just, yeah, that's really sad. Anyway,
Yeah. Forgot how we got here.
you know. Okay, so I have Horace Lawson Hunley. He is a submarine engineer. God damn it. You couldn't pay me to get on a fucking submarine. Like, fuck
Right.
that noise. Like,
I think they
people who
recently
work,
started allowing like in the Navy, like women to go on submarines because for all they wouldn't allow you
yeah,
guys down there. And you're like, none of you guys are complaining. You're like, fucking, are you serious?
I know.
Can't go
Fuck
down there.
that.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
I'm
that.
not, yeah, good. You don't want me there?
Yeah.
Cool. That
No,
even better.
cool. I'll take
Even
it.
better. I know, because they weren't even like when I joined the military, they were talking about how, or was it then? But like, I forget when they finally started letting women in combat. I was like, God damn it, shut up, quit bitching. We don't need to go in hand-to-hand
Right.
combat.
Right, dude. Yeah, what the
I was
fuck?
like, I have zero
What are you guys
desire to go
fighting
into
for?
combat like that.
You guys are fighting the wrong battles.
Exactly. I was like, shut up.
What were you saying? Okay, so because I just found a good one. So go ahead.
Okay, cool. This guy Hunley designed the H.L. Hunley, one of the first combat submarines. During a test run, the submarine sank, killing him and his entire crew.
Damn, I like how I do like when people die by the invention that's like named after them, like it has their name in it. You know what I mean? Like
Uh,
you can't say anyone else invented. That's the Hunley submarine.
exactly.
Like died going down with the ship literally. It sucked, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, dude.
All right, so this guy's name's Michael Dakar, Dacre. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, he died after a crash that occurred while testing his flying taxi device. All right, so a flying taxi device was he invented this. What it was supposed to be was a very quiet aircraft that could take off and land in short distances, an STOL. And it was a company that was inventor. Yeah, that's what's the acronym for that too. And a company that was incorporated back in '88 in Hong Kong, of course. And then yeah, so it was like through the military they were gonna create this, or he invented this flying mini taxi. It was supposed to, like I said, take off and land in short distances. Anyway, he died immediately testing it out, and I don't think it ever. And that was pretty much it.
Damn.
It's back like I think this was 2009. He killed the found. He killed himself and the founder. of like
Oh, wow.
the whole like so it was like the AVCEN jet pod, and yeah, he killed like himself, the founder.
Damn, that sucks.
Oh no, he was the founder. Okay, so he just killed him. Okay, so he was the founder and the inventor. All
Oh,
right, cool.
okay.
So anyway,
So it did. He killed himself and the founder.
yeah. Either way, yeah, fucking yeah, exactly. I was correct.
Yeah,
Can't
you
remember
were.
what
You're totally
can't remember
right.
what I said. Yeah. All right. All right.
Um,
So yeah, who's your guy?
this one's kind of crazy. There's a guy who, Henry Smolinski, creator of the flying car, which is
See,
like an
we're
airplane.
close to each other. Yeah, exactly.
You didn't create shit. You made an airplane
Yes.
with a huge cockpit.
Yes. Ooh.
He attempted to build a car with detachable wings using the Ford Pinto. During a test flight, the wings detached mid-air, leading to the fatal crash. I'm like, fuck. Like, were they
Yeah,
wings that like flew like a bird, you know?
he
Like, did
glued.
they flap?
It sounds like he glued wings onto a Pinto and tried to fly.
I
What the
know,
fuck,
right?
dude? Yeah,
Drive off a cliff or some shit.
yeah,
I
but
need
just
more to this story.
yeah. Some of these, that's what I'm saying. Some of these are like if you have to re-click on the link from
No,
or
this is ChatGPT gave me a list
oh
of, yeah.
yeah. Some of mine are like yeah, I had to click on a separate link and I get to more of the story if I feel necessary. And some of them are like, some of them are like, okay, I got
I have
it.
one, Carol Suchek. I don't know. It's a foreign name. The
Sure.
inventor of the shock absorbing barrel. He developed a shock absorbing barrel to survive Niagara Falls. After successfully going over the falls, he attempted the stunt at the Houston Astrodome, but the barrel hit the edge of a water tank and it killed him. So I guess it wasn't that shock absorbing
Yeah, I guess
after
not, dude.
all. Fuck.
And absorb any kind of shock. Seems
It
like
didn't. Not even try, you know?
no, that's the worst when you like this is supposed to be a shock absorbing. It doesn't absorb any of the shock.
All right, I'm gonna
It
eat
wasn't
these
that great.
these protein chips on mute. They're
All
so
right.
good.
What kind of protein chips? Protein chips?
Yeah, they're these tortilla style protein chips from Quest. I got the loaded taco flavor. And they're really good. They really do taste like tortilla chips.
Chex Mix had this like I think it was called like something taco. Feisty taco.
Feisty taco. That sounds like my stripper name.
I know, dude. Yeah, I think there was a silhouette of you on the
Oh
on the
God,
bag.
no.
But anyway, yeah. So those are like shockingly good. The
No
feisty
way.
taco. I don't
Feisty.
know. I don't know if it
It's
was feisty taco.
Fiesta. I bet it said Fiesta.
It more than likely said fiesta, but spicy
Okay,
taco just
that's the
sounds.
funny. That should be a segment. It's the words you think say something and they really don't.
Oh, I've done that so many times with songs too. Like for years, I'm like, oh, that's and I like rap along to a song and then find that's not it at all. There's this one Little Wayne song where it's like, I'm at your face like man come. You're like, that's pretty aggressive, but all right. But then I found out he was saying I'm at your face like land come, like the makeup.
That's funny.
Yeah, and for I was like, I'm like, it's at your face like man come. That's really aggressive. But I mean, it's Little Wayne, dude. He says what he wants. I'm looking it up, dude. I'm seeing if it is remix zesty taco.
Zesty taco. It was nowhere near any of that.
No, it's feisty. What did I say?
Feisty and zesty.
Yes, there's tea. There's tea at the end of it. There's stees,
It's
feisty and zesty.
yeah. There's like that's funny. That's funny how you got that's funny how you got there.
Yeah, because I knew it was something that meant like it wasn't quite fiesta. It wasn't party. It was something that like had to do with the flavor. But I couldn't come up with zesty. But I remember like there was a C at the end of it, you know. And I felt like feisty and taco, you know.
I don't want a feisty taco. Like, yeah.
No, but I was thinking of like Mexican, you know, and like Mexican chicks are always feisty. All right, you know, edit that out.
It's feisty. I feel like it's a taco that's gonna hit you back.
Yeah. Taco don't take no shit.
You probably will take a shit, a big one.
But isn't yeah, well, you get it.
I always joke like people who are like, "Oh my God, Taco Bell, I'm gonna be on the toilet for hours." I'm like, "You're weak, and so is your bloodline. Like, buck
Right.
up."
I've never had Taco Bell. I can't say never, but I don't think I can't say maybe I just don't want
I
to
have
believe.
never had Taco Bell indigestion.
Right. I don't want to
Like,
believe it was Taco Bell anyway. You know, I mean, like, nah, it's definitely the three waters I had earlier. That's what it was. that made me shit like this.
People who get indigestion and the shits from Taco Bell, you're weak.
Dirtiest children it shows, right?
It is, yeah. They never drank dip spit,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
completely
exactly,
shows.
exactly.
Maybe if you drank some dip spit, your stomach would be a little tougher. Wouldn't be such a
Freaking
little bitch.
Serenity told me she used to steal, for some reason, when she was a kid, she used to steal Pepto Bismols and just and drink them. And now she can't look at a Pepto Bismol at all. So like indigestion, she's like, I'm just gonna deal with it, dude. I'm not fucking.
Why did she just drink it? Did she like the flavor or
I
something?
think
Or
I don't know. She was when she was a kid, but it was pink. I think it was the pink. I don't know. I don't know what the whole. I don't know. But yeah, and that was
funny.
I do remember being kind of like having a flavor that I could see a kid
Oh
gravitate.
yeah, totally. A kid drinking that all the time. I could
Yeah,
totally
and
see
especially
that.
with the
Yeah.
pink
That's
color
something I
too.
would do. Yeah, that
Yeah,
I just put a straw in there
right.
and
Yeah, fuck yeah.
put it in the
But yeah,
fridge, let it chill
yeah,
for a
a
couple
chilled.
hours.
I need a chilled. Give me one of those cold ones out there, boys.
Can I have some over the rocks,
It's been a
please?
hard day.
It's been a very hard day trying
I
to
need
fucking
and I need
think
my
of shit.
stool softened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she can't fucking look at Pepto Bismol the same at all anymore. If I even bring it up, she's like, "Why would you even say that in my presence?" Oh.
It's like so triggering.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, so again, so those are interested. Zesty taco.
Those are on the edge of their seat waiting.
Yeah, like, what was it again? Oh, fuck. I hope he says it one more time so I can write this one down. I'm not going to rewind it.
We've gone too far. I'm in it.
Yeah.
This one's loaded taco.
Right. Loaded taco, and it's from, you said, from Quest.
Yeah, the protein chips. Yeah, they're super good. I would totally make nachos out of these fucks too. They would make, I mean, they're.
Fucks. I don't know why that was so funny. Fucks.
Yeah, I like to sprinkle the F word everywhere I go.
Yeah. Dude, I was reminded of this the other day. I don't remember exactly what it was. You got a head start on me on your son, rubbing off on your son, because I remember he texted me a while back, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm bored. What are you up to?" And I was like, "Oh no, nothing much. Just hanging out, watching The Voice with my family." And then he texts back, "You see, now this is why my mom calls you gay." And he was like, the "you see" part was what he's like. He was disappointed in me or something. Like, yes, you see. I try so hard. I try so hard. This is what you do to me here.
I defend you all the time.
Yeah. You see. And I was like, yeah, you know what? First of all, good point. But
First of all, you got me.
yeah, first of all, you got me, and it's a great point. But second of all, gotta get back to The Voice.
Dude, that one time that watched him and he was like telling you, he's like, he's showing you all that Lego shit. And he's like, okay, let's go get some bitches.
Dude, that's the best. Did I tell that story already?
No.
It's all the press.
No.
No. Well, no. So yeah. So the story was I was watching your son, and he was like 5, and we're playing Lego Batman. He was in the sewer, or he was in Wayne Manor, like in the bottom, like in the trenches underneath, and he was trying to find the plane so you get the hell out of there and fly away. And he had this reporter following him, was like a woman that was like part of the game, and he kept calling it his wife. And anyway, so anyway, like he's just like going around, roaming around, trying to find this plane. He's like getting pissed off, and finally he turns around, he like punches his wife, recalls his wife, and he uppercuts her, and she falls into the sewer. She's like, oh, and she falls into the sewer, and we both just start dying laughing because it's hilarious. So then he continues to do it for like 20 more minutes because 5-year-olds do that. And then finally, though, we get to like where the plane is, and I'm like, all right, man, don't knock her into the sewer another time because you need her to go to leave the mission, right? And he's like, oh yeah, you're probably skadoosh. He actually says skadoosh as he uppercut her back into the
I remember that.
ocean.
Skadoosh.
Yeah. And then I was like, and then we start laughing, and then he hops on the plane, and then he flies away without this woman on the plane, and then he finally goes, woo! Now finally we got away from that hoe. And I was like, I had to like contain my laughter, but I was like, that's pretty funny. But then I was like, no, that's fucked up. I gotta be responsible here. I gotta at least say something. So I'm like, wait, man. I'm like, what did you just say? What was that? And he goes, yeah, finally got away from that house.
And I was like, what? And he goes, finally, I got away from that house. And I was like, oh, finally you got away from that because you're in that house for a long time. And then finally you got away from that. Ha, okay. I'm tripping, dude. I thought you said something. Oh, you know what? You're right. And then he looks at me like I'm crazy. And then he goes, and then he looks at me again. He goes, now let's go get some bitches. And then he flies away. He flies away in this little freaking bat plane or whatever. And I was like, oh my God. Man, 18, that's crazy. You got an 18-year-old.
Yeah, it's crazy. Tell me about it.
And then you have like two like really young children.
I know. I reset the like.
Yeah, you did, dude.
Oh, God, I didn't plan. Yeah, you know,
you didn't plan this. You didn't plan it. You didn't like when you sat down at 18. You're like, in 2 years.
I was operating on like just shit I knew in my bones. Like I've always known I'm gonna have 3 kids, and I swear to God, I thought my last one was gonna be a boy. I really did. We had the name we had picked out was so fucking cool. Like I love it, and it bums me out that it'll never see the light of day because it will never see the light of day.
Right, you're like, yeah.
I'm so fucking done. And it was so funny because Squish's birth was a little dramatic, but like there was my second C-section surgeon did a shitty job. There was all kinds of scar tissue. I had organs fused together and shit. And so in my third C-section, he went in there and just excavated all that shit and like put me back together. And the recovery was brutal. It was so painful, but it was good to go. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he looked at me and he really seriously, and he's like, your uterus is not suitable to have another pregnancy.
Wow.
And I looked at it, I was like, you got it. I was like,
Yeah,
thank
like,
you for saying that in front of every, you know,
on paper,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like, oh shit, I can't have any more kids. The doctor said
doctor's
not to.
orders.
Yeah, darn it.
You know, it reminds me of or are we done? Sorry, I don't know.
No, go ahead. It's a conversation.
Okay. Conversation works back and forth. No, but so it reminds me of the story that this chick, it was in San Diego actually, and it was like this mother of like I don't know 5 or something like that. I think she had like 3 on with a previous marriage, or 2 with a previous marriage. Her and her husband had 2, and then together they had 1. And her last one, she had like a terrible C-section, or it was like a 36-hour labor.
Damn.
She had like a terrible and she had to go into like her recovery was terrible, and she said like it was around the time too the doctor gave her the Holy Trinity. You know what the Holy Trinity is? It was Oxy, Vicodin, and Somas. That was OSV, and that's what he gave her that, and she got like addicted, and like she said like she couldn't start. Basically, it got to the point where like she took him, it felt great, and then she got to the point where she couldn't like start her day without him, and then like the pain went away, but she still needed them to start her day, and she'd get up and take those and then feed her kids and drive them to school and shit like that. Anyway, though, she said she ended up like losing she had a job where she would collect bills. Like she the person will call you and be like, hey, you need to pay this bill. And if you don't, they're gonna come collect your car or whatever. And she felt bad. But anyway, it was commission based. She was high and fudged some numbers, got a fat commission, got caught. Her boss was like, we're not gonna prosecute, but you're fired and you gotta pay this back. Right. And her husband didn't know. She was like the one that was taking care of all the bills. Anyway, one day she's in a bank. And this happened in San Diego around the time we were there. It happened. She went into a bank and she said like as she was paying some bills, some dude came in with a gun and basically robbed the bank. Got off. She saw him drive off on a bike, and then he was like, she checked the news, and then she didn't see it reported at all. So she was like, this guy got away with it. So then she started robbing banks. And she was like a soccer, they call her like a soccer mom because she was just like,
wow.
Yeah, she just started robbing banks, and it all stemmed from her and then at first she went in there with a fake gun. And then after that, she said she felt bad because she see people were actually scared. So after that, she just started going there with a note, and she was just robbing the place. And then like eventually she got caught because she like parked her, she got real lazy with it. She parked her car like in front of the bank, and then like went in there with a note and then walked out, got in her car and drove off. But she was getting away with it for a long time. And then she actually never got she got like prosecuted obviously, but not like too bad because the gun was fake. So it was never actually
it was not actual armed robbery. Yeah.
Armed robbery. Yeah. So she only did like a few years.
It was squirt gun robbery.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And her husband, fucked part is her husband, like if my wife did that, I'd be like, it's fucking badass, babe. You're a fucking legend, dude. I wouldn't divorce her. I'd stick it out, I'd stick it out. But anyway, yeah, that's what reminded me of. I was like, man, that could have gotten way dark for you if you had,
Well, I know that's the thing is I don't like pills. Like
Yeah.
I never did, but they give you the narcotics, at first,
Right.
but they heavily regulate them here. In fact, it
Sure.
sucks because they don't give you that many.
Mhm.
And so I only had like maybe a couple days worth of pills
Sure.
for that, and it was really really painful. But I didn't care because I saw somewhere, I can't remember where, but if you take equal parts Tylenol to equal parts ibuprofen, it gives the same pain relief as a Norco without the psychoactive
Hmm.
effects. And so I would just take three Tylenol, three ibuprofen, and it helped me a lot, and it was not habit forming at all. Because I'm not really down with the pills. My vices are like weed,
You
like
know.
like I love to be stoned. But you know what's crazy is I inadvertently am kind of like tapering off of weed. Like it's the craziest thing to me. Like the last couple days, like I stumbled on some deep spiritual principles and I've been talking about it on my other podcast, but I've been implementing them. And lately it's like I like to be clear. I like to be focused and I like my mind sharp. And I find that I don't smoke during the day. Not even because I used to like to smoke before I cook dinner. And now I don't even like to do that because I get a little irritated with my girls and I don't want to be mean to them just because.
Right.
And so I decided to stop doing that. And so now after I lay squish down, I look at Sonia and I'm like, Mom is checked out. I'm off the clock. Whatever you need, figure it out. Like, obviously I'll help her, you know what I mean?
Right.
But she'll play her fucking games and then she'll always yap at me. And I'm like, woman, I was
Right.
like, we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And I'm done. And so I'll check out and I'll smoke and I'll watch my shows. And
The
yeah, that's the only time
stories.
I smoke. Like I prefer the pen because
It's a
it's
different
like
kind of.
the lightest buzz. Like right now I'm smoking it, but I can still have conversations and not be like,
Right.
yeah. But even that, like, it's funny. The only time I smoke the pen is when I'm working at the ranch. Like, I don't really have it during the day at my house. I like to meditate with a clear mind now. It's crazy. I quit smoking the same way. I quit drinking the same way. It's kind of funny. Are you okay? Are you sneaking some
Yeah.
drinks back there?
Actually, it's a Gatorade bottle full of water. So it's like
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Is it Russian water?
No, no potato. Vodka.
No potato juice.
Yeah. That
Oh,
makes it worse. That sounds worse.
I know,
Hey.
right?
Too clever, too late, too late.
Too late. Pew, 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 pew.
All right, so I got a few. Remember I had that book.
Oh yeah. I need to get something like that too, so I could contribute stuff too.
Yeah. That's they're don't get the same one I got though, because like that would be kind of gay if you have. Or I could mail you the first version. And I'll read from volume 2.
No, you can mail it to me, but I'll never read it.
Of course not. You probably won't even open the package. But
I did open the package. I really did.
that's cool.
Yay, we got somewhere.
Yeah, we're part of the way there, I suppose. Did you know this? The space between your eyebrows is
Eyebrows.
called. Yeah, it's because of the word that I'm going to say. It'll make sense. No, wait for it. All right, the space between your eyebrows is called the glabella.
Glabella?
Yeah,
Oh.
that
I
space.
scrape that with my gua sha, and I'm like
See,
I don't have any wrinkles on my glabella.
that sounds
My
disgusting.
glabella is not wrinkled at all.
My glabella is wrinkle free, dude.
It's smooth.
Put that on a dating profile.
God,
Smooth
smooth glabella. That should be the name. No, just like my headline is
Totally the name of this episode, dude.
Smooth glabella. Okay, but text it to me because I need to know how to spell that.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I swear
for
to God,
sure.
I'll fucking name this episode
Fuck
Smooth
yeah.
Glabella. You watch me, I'll do it.
And then we got to get a picture of like one of us, like with our index finger and our pinky, like touching our eyebrow.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Smooth Glabella.
I will
That's so
totally
good.
take that picture.
The healthiest place in the world is in Panama. It's not very just in Panama.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
The safest place to catch malaria.
Right, yeah. Yeah. If you're looking to catch malaria this summer,
Head to Panama.
I don't know if you heard. I've heard this one before. I don't know if you know this one, but like did you hear that a bunch of bodies were found in Benjamin Franklin's basement?
Oh yeah, I've heard that through the pipeline. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you know why though? What
I
they
know
were?
why, because that what the shit those fucking weirdos are into. Oh yeah.
No, no. Okay, so the real reason was because it was illegal to perform any kind of medical anything on a dead body. So they couldn't get any medical science or anything
Oh
done.
right, yeah.
So they
Oh,
had to
we
they had to
couldn't do any of this stuff with a dead. Oh yeah, no, they did it. They were torturing people, drinking their blood.
well, either way, they after they were done, they were able to go ahead and perform autopsies and get a bunch of medical science done with these bodies.
Nice. Dude,
Yeah.
okay. I used to listen to this one medium on YouTube. She'd channel celebrities and stuff and like talk to them about their life and what they learned and all this stuff. And she channeled Jack the Ripper and I was listening to it one day when I was cooking dinner. It was
Right. Oh, I
fascinating.
heard. I had a documentary about that actually. So yeah.
Well, the real reason why he did it wasn't because he was like the sick, twisted killer. He wanted to learn about the ins like he was actually a medical professional and he did it to learn about the body and he used to publish his findings under a pseudonym and but he came up with a lot of the shit killing these women, because he wanted to see it live in action and there were some that he wasn't trying to kill them, they just died kind of thing.
Hmm.
But it was very interesting. I was like, okay. But yeah, I that's who the real Jack Ripper was.
Jack the Ripper. A pharaoh once lathered his slaves in honey to keep bugs away from him. King Pepi II thought so highly of himself that when he was bothered by insects, he would command that one of his slaves be covered in honey to lure the flies away from himself.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Jesus.
I didn't know that. If you heat up a magnet, it loses some of its magnetism.
Wow. I didn't know that
Yeah,
either.
yeah, I didn't know that would make a difference.
Interesting. Don't microwave your magnets. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Fucking heat mag. You won't be able to hang up your kids' pictures on the fridge.
Maybe that's why all of the magnets fell off the fridge in Stranger Things. Remember that? All of their magnets fell off. Maybe it was a heat pulse.
I remember they explained it. I'm pretty sure they explained it. I just rewatched that whole series like within the last like 6 months, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I
It was
can't. It's finally 2025. They're fucking putting out the new season this
I
summer.
hope so. Finally, I hope
I
so.
know, God, I
Man, it's
gotta
been
see
such
how
a
it.
wait. Well, I was gonna say I rewatched it recently, like the whole thing from start to finish, and it is pretty cool because like by the time I saw like the third season, I'd forgotten some of the scene. I mean, some of the second season because it's been so long, and by in fourth season, I'd forgotten. So watching it all together was kind of cool to watch it all at the same time. But at the same time, it was like, man, experiencing this for the first, like my daughter experiencing it for the first time, it was so cool to watch because I all of it at once. Because
Hmm.
I remember the first time when you remember the first time you saw it, how incredible it was.
Oh yeah. I
That
just
first
I
tart
just
apple
hate
bite.
how it took like years for all these. Like I wish they would have just done the seasons, but I guess
Yeah.
I don't know. The way they're telling the story, it does make sense because the kids actually do age. It has been some time, and so
Realistic though, I was actually following as it goes, and like from the beginning of season one to like the end of season four is like 3 years, really. I
no,
mean,
it's not because
yeah, I swear to
one of the
God,
seasons was 3 years from the season 3 to season 4.
it's not, dude. I just watched it. I promise you. If you look at the beginning of the season, I'll tell you like when that's supposed to be, and it's like 3 years.
Well, then they filmed it all weird because they're
Yeah, they
the
did.
well, that's the problem is Elle, she's got a very mature body now, and so I
Yeah, she
wonder
looks
how
way.
they're gonna do that,
They're saying they're trying to do that whole thing with like they may have to do. You've seen like those new ones where they have like the AI face where it's like a young Will Smith or something like that. I saw a movie where it was like they had like a young Will Smith, but it was like obviously like a computer generated
Well,
version
no,
of
her
him.
face is one thing because she has had I noticed she's like putting fillers in her face, which it sucks because it destroys your face and she's so young. But
Yeah,
she's got like boobs and curves now. Like
that's what I'm saying.
She's like a Barbie doll now. And
They're
so
gonna
it's
have to
like,
do AI computer
oh
generated. They're
yeah.
talking about stuff like that. Like they're talking about having to do things like that to make it look
like they're their appropriate age since they're like in their 20s now because they're all in their 20s now. And then the other the kid like her boyfriend, what's his name, Mike?
Oh
Misha?
yeah. He's in a
Anyway,
band, isn't he?
I know the brother. Okay, Mike's sister's boyfriend. He has a super popular song right now. The guy that plays Mike, he's in a bunch of Ghostbuster movies that are pretty good. Or he's like two Ghostbuster movies with like Paul Rudd.
Oh, did they redo that?
I don't know what it's supposed to be. No, it's actually supposed to be like a continuation because like Egon, he like dies in the first one and like he sends a message to like his grandkids. And I think it's supposed to be like like Egon's grandkids or something like that. It's not bad. Who doesn't like Paul Rudd? You know what I'm saying?
I know, I love his work. He's so
Yeah.
funny. Like
Yeah. If it's Paul Rudd's in it,
everything.
I'm down,
I know, me too. If he's in something, I'll definitely watch it. He's so funny.
Yeah, just effortlessly.
Dude, I was so bored at Christmas that I sat and watched Dune, the first one and the second one, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah, so that's again one of those movies that's on the list, but I see how long it is. I'm like, and I never feel like I have the time. But yeah, if you have an afternoon of boredom, yeah, it's a perfect time to do it.
Oh yeah,
And it
totally.
won, didn't like win awards or something like that? It's supposed to be like pretty
I
popular.
can't remember, but my son Max and I
Oh yeah,
we
I think I know what you're talking about.
I know, right? We were talking about how much we like Timothy Chalamet, and like I literally haven't seen him in a role that I didn't wasn't captivated by his
Yeah,
performance.
he is.
Like
He
he
does stand
really
out.
brings you in
He does
to,
stand out.
oh yeah, because I think the first thing that I saw him in was Netflix movie The King. I thought he did a really good job in that. And
The
then
King. Huh, what's that one?
it's
Oh,
about a king
oh,
in
really?
in in like the 1400s, I believe,
Okay.
the early 14s, and Robert Pattinson's in it too. I really liked it. It was a good one. Yeah, I was really
I don't
impressed
hate
with.
Robert Pattinson actually. I don't hate him.
I know, me either. He's a good actor,
Yeah, he's actually pretty good.
because I mean, him and Leonardo DiCaprio, and they all started it, and like Brad Pitt, like started as like these heartthrobs, and like, oh my
Right.
God.
Yeah.
But they've really proved their skills. Like I've watched a few movies with Robert Pattinson, and I'm like, you know what? He's actually really good. Like
No, yeah, yeah, same thing. I've seen
I
a
really
couple of
do like
movies
him.
where like
Yeah.
he kind of like stole the scene, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's never. I mean, it was Batman wasn't his fault, but
I haven't been able to watch that all the way through. Like the first time we watched it was at the in the theater,
right.
and my mother-in-law texted and was like, Sonia's got a really high temperature. She's not feeling good. And so
Uh,
I was like, ah, shit.
right.
So Max and Alan were there. I was like, I'll just go get her. So they were able to finish watching it. And then we rented it one night, or we watched it on, I think it was something streaming,
Right.
and we all decided to watch it as a family, and I ended up passing out. I was just
Right.
so tired and I could not keep my eyes open. So I've not seen past like the first act.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean it is like 3 hours long. And
Yeah.
it's one of those for me anyway, it was one of those movies like you're just like waiting for it, you're just like kind of waiting for it. And then
Yeah.
and it's 3 hours. You're like, they're gonna, oh, it's a slow burn, but they're gonna get there, oof, it's gonna, the part that, and then it just never really gets there. Yeah, and you're just like, oh, and then it's like
There's no yeah.
yeah, it never really had like that, like, because all the other the Christian Bale ones, there was moments
They
like,
were
oh fuck yeah, this is
amazing.
right, fuck
My
yeah,
favorite
Batman.
franchise. Like I hate, like I don't know. I can't stand.
Like, yeah, the Joker. We all know Dark Knight. He just crushed it. It was an incredible
Oh yeah,
performance.
that
So
one's
many
the
great
best
movies. Yeah,
franchise.
that's the best Batman.
Or
I
it's
think.
like, oh my God, the Michael Keaton ones are so good. I'm like, they're really not, you know?
No, they're nostalgic for sure. Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
they're
their nostalgic.
nostalgic, but they're not better. Like the
No,
storyline, everything is better. Chris Nolan did a better job telling that story.
absolutely.
Because
I
one
agree.
of my one of my friends in Utah is a diehard Batman. He like reads all the comic, like he knows everything.
Mhm.
And he's like, because he was even telling me like side stories of what really happens with some of the characters, like Commissioner Gordon's son, and like
Right.
with the way they're setting up Robin, all that shit at the end of those movies. But he was telling me like he liked the Chris Nolan ones the best too, because he's like it just aligns the best because those were darker comics, and in the 90s they didn't have that dark tone to them.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the mid 90s, like the ones where they kept switching out Batman, like those ones were so comic booky.
Oh
cartoon
yeah,
movie.
yeah, because it was Tim Burton, and then it got switched to like what was that? Joel Silver, whatever his name was, Schumacher or some shit. He
Oh
did
yeah, yeah.
he was supposed to do three, but like he did the one with Val Kilmer, and Val Kilmer was like, everyone was like, that one sucks. So then he got George Clooney, was like, yeah, that one sucked even more. And then so he stopped doing it. He's like, all right, fuck it, out of here. So he didn't do it. But though, you know, those ones were really like that was like Batman on Ice by the end of the one with like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, they were
That one
horrible.
sucked so bad. George
Mm.
Clooney, I like George Clooney too, but
I know Val Kilmer even was like, he's like, I really like Batman and all this, but he even couldn't connect with the character. He was like, this is
yeah,
trash.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The whole thing was a flop. Yeah.
Yeah. Only thing that was at least Jim Carrey was like, you know, he was entertaining as the
He's the
Riddler.
best Riddler.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. That
he
was
was, yeah, he is the best Riddler. Grant, or no, wait, he wasn't the Riddler. He was the Scarecrow. Because I was gonna say Cillian Murphy did a really great job, but he was the Scarecrow.
right, right. Is
I
it
really
Killian or
like.
Cillian? I always Killian?
I think
Killian.
it's Killian.
I always say Cillian. I don't know.
Yeah, there's this other actor. His name's Cillian Murphy, but he changed his name or the spelling because of the other guy's
Just because the other
spelling.
one, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what was the first? So it was like what, 28 days was like one of the first things I saw him in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, who were we just talking about? What was his name again? Cillian
Cillian
Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah, yeah, Killian, fine, whatever.
Here, let's go on to
Dude,
IMDb. How do you pronounce his
does
name?
it give you pronunciations in IMDb?
Yeah, they do. He's a great actor. I really like him.
Who?
You know,
Killian?
I kept seeing different reels talking up that show he was in, the Peaky Blinders show.
Yeah. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, I did. It was good. Whatever. But
Sure.
like the way that they talked about this fucking show on Instagram with the reels and how badass and blah blah blah, I
Right.
expected way more, and it just especially the end. I'm like, I couldn't even watch to the end. I have no idea how it ends because it was just a snooze fest. I
No, it
just
just got
could.
that boring, you'd say?
It did. Like the most exciting part is when the Italian mob came and he killed all them, and that was it. That was like the last cool shit that happened.
Hmm.
Because I really liked Adrian Brody. He did a really great job in that role too. And I love
Yeah.
Tom Hardy. I love
No,
Tom
fucking good.
Hardy, and he's my one of my heartthrob actors. I
Right.
love
I can
Tom
see it.
Hardy in anything. But like especially him in that one with Shia LaBeouf and what's his name?
Oh, I know what you're talking.
Lawless.
Lawless. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I fucking
Yeah, that was
love
dope.
that movie. I
Dude, Shia
love
LaBeouf is crazy, dude. He's tripping.
that.
He got like, do you see that movie where he got like, it's
He
called like
like
the tax
immerses
collector.
himself in his roles.
Hard,
I really
hard,
respect him as an actor because he
for
really
sure. Like he
gets
ripped
in
out his
it.
tooth
Yeah, like
in
in
Fury,
Fury. Yeah, and he didn't shower for weeks because
right?
he felt like that's how the guy was like, you could still
And
shower. We
then
can't smell you.
where yeah, on the screen and it's scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
One day, dude, they're gonna because you know they got the 3D glasses. They're gonna have scratch and sniff like T-shirts you can wear or something. Scratch your shirt right now. Well, here's the thing. At least Fury was like a good movie though. Ever seen that movie, The Tax Collector?
Fury pissed me off. I
But at
hate
least
the end. I
it
thought
had
it was
Brad
so
Pitt.
fucking stupid.
I don't remember the end, but
It's like what honor do you have staying with the hunk of junk? Like get out of there and save yourselves. They all could have
oh yeah, that's
survived.
right. They all like died.
That the way they stayed like that pissed me off. I'm like, shut up. You're paying. It's a piece of metal. Like get the fuck out of there. Go
Are you one
home.
of those?
All have families, It's
Are you
like
one of the people that's pissed about Jack and Rose and like Jack not being on the thing on
do I think
Titanic?
he could have saved himself? Like,
Yeah,
and they
this
could have.
dude.
I
Yeah.
don't really have an opinion about that. You
No.
know what I
Okay.
mean? I've never
Yeah.
really thought about that. Like, I
Really.
sometimes, because it was such a tragedy, like so many people died. So it's
Right.
like, who knows? What if he got on the thing? He could have still died of hypothermia. You know what I mean? So it's
Sure.
like, I don't know.
Well, anyway, Tax Collector. It's really it's not a great like at least Fury is like yeah, everyone's seen it or heard of it or Brad Pitt's in it blah blah blah. But Tax Collector, it's an okay movie. He plays this like he works for like some gang where he goes and collects like debts and he's like fully like body and he got like a bunch of tattoos for it and like joined a gang in LA
Wow.
and he like yeah and like no one's really even seen that movie. It's not bad. He gets killed at the
That's
at some
crazy that
point.
he gets all these like does
Yeah, he got like actual tattoos, dude, like a bunch of them.
I
like
mean,
crazy.
tats are cool. I want more,
Yeah,
but
but
like,
not for a role. Like you're, just immerse
yeah.
myself in a role. But hey, you know what? I always do say like tattoos are kind of like landmarks. So like, he's like, yeah, I was in that movie. That's where I got these tattoos from. I remember that set
Wow.
when I was on scene. Fuck it.
Interesting. Cillian Murphy, his American accent when auditioning for Batman Begins was so convincing that the casting directors had no clue he was really from Ireland. I was gonna say
I
another
was
one.
gonna say that's another good one too. Is actors we did not know were British that we like were in
That's a
roles that
good
were
one. Yeah. Oh,
like
by the way, I want to amend my Orbits girl. I like the second girl because if the second girl was the one that did the Cootie Queen commercial,
yeah.
that's the Orbit girl I like.
Okay, well
So is
you're
she the
you're
second
free.
girl?
That's the second one. Yeah,
Okay,
that
so
was the
then yeah, I prefer
prefer the
her.
second one. I prefer
Yeah.
okay, so I prefer the first one. You're more of a second Orbits girl. Glad we cleared that up.
I know our listeners, I had to for our
Yeah.
listeners, I'm
Like there's
really
no fucking way. They
loyal to
both
the
agree.
accuracy and facts of
They
this
agree on the
podcast.
same Orbits girl. I'm turning this off unless they clear this up. All right, all right.
Yeah,
Episode
I
five, they
believe
did
in
it.
transparency.
Episode, episode five, guys, they did it. Go listen again. Boycott's off.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of transparency, the fucking that Pepper story, that was Ro. She
Yeah, I
did
know you.
all
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that. Yeah,
That sounds
because it came
believable.
to me when I was editing. I was like, "Oh my God, I remember now." Because my I know right was
Right,
hella
yeah,
sarcastic. I was like,
right.
"That fucking crazy bitch."
Yeah, but I
Because
didn't
I
know that.
text you, I know, but no, I said I know, right? And then I text you again and said I walked in there too. Like she got ready for school and spilled all that pepper and didn't even clean it up. I was like, that was her.
Mhm.
And then because I swear I text you that. But
I
yeah,
remember.
that I know, right? I know. But the way you told that story is fucking hilarious. I like your version better, but
Yeah, yeah.
no, yeah, that was because of Roe. That fucking
Right.
crazy.
I mean, that sounds very believable. It could also be one of those things where like we've all been there where like you mean to text someone and then you don't and you see the text like an hour later, you're like
Or maybe you're just like knee deep in wines that you don't remember me
that's
telling you that.
also possible too. I don't know about knee deep, more like waist. I was pretty deep too.
Oh my God, that reminds that one time we were at the pool. I tell this story all the time too. When we were at the pool and you like,
Cannonball.
yeah, you like go to jump in the pool and you're like, fuck my
Mid
phone, like
face. Yeah, mid
mid-air.
yeah.
And everybody, the pool was packed. Everybody
Yeah.
was like, oh.
Yeah, everyone felt the pain, and it was so perfect too because it was like midair,
It
whereas like
was, it was
I
perfect.
still had time to do something, but there was nothing I could do. You know what I mean?
And
It was
you're
like it
like,
was like watching a car crash happen, and
because
knowing
did
you
you
can't
still have
stop
your
it.
did you take your cigarettes and lighter out or did you leave everything in? Because
No, I think I had just paid my bill too. It was like $500 or something like that, and I just paid it off too. And I was like, hell yeah! And I was excited, and I think I had everything, my cigarettes, lighter, like
because
everything that
I
you
do
should have.
remember a wet pack of cigarette and it was like a full pack too.
Yeah, I just bought those,
Uh-huh.
and I jumped in there like excitedly and just ruined everything you shouldn't have in your pockets when you jump in the pool. Like I don't know how I spaced on that. Like I just
Well, speaking of Batman, Cillian Murphy was the only actor to be in all three Batman movies.
well, what about Christian Bale?
Or I mean, sorry, he was the only actor playing a villain to appear in all three of those Batman
Okay,
films.
gotcha. I better say because I feel like Michael Caine and
I know.
Morgan
Sorry.
Freeman, and
Yeah, I feel
only
like they were
villain.
there.
Morgan Freeman, or not Morgan Freeman, villain, only villain to play in all three. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, he was in the second one too. He was in Dark Knight. I'm sure he was. He had to be.
Yeah, he was in all of them.
That's what all of them means, motherfucker.
Because he was in, they did that. He was running that criminal court. Remember when they put the people out on the
Oh yeah,
ice?
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that movie so many times, yeah, okay. No, you're correct.
And then the third one, what was he in the third one? I can't remember
I
that
feel like he
one.
was doing the same thing. He was
Was he
like,
doing the same? Okay.
yeah, because that's why I thought like that was the scene from the third one,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah, here it is. His first name is pronounced Kill Ian.
Oh, it is Killian. It is
Yeah.
Killian. All right, fair enough.
Oh man. He's good friends with Colin Farrell and Jonathan Rhys Meyers. Those guys are hot as fuck, dude. All of them.
Who was the first one you said?
Colin Farrell.
Oh, okay, and he's a penguin.
He's the Penguin. I know. I never watched. There was a movie he was in recently where is it that one or I swear he played somebody in the mob or some shit like that.
Yeah. So he was in the newest Batman. He played the Penguin, but he was like a super mob boss version of like the Penguin.
Oh, okay.
So then into like a more cartoony, like wearing yeah, see, he's got a top hat. You know, he's like more of like how kind of like how the comic book was, where he was like he came up through like the mafia or like the mob kind of thing, and then he became like a mob boss kind of himself, and now he runs like a section of the mob or whatever.
Oh,
And that's what the whole.
nice.
And I heard the show. I heard the show is supposed to be like actually really good. The HBO show they have.
What is it?
It's called the yeah. So they had a series called The Penguin with Colin Farrell starring in it. It's on HBO.
See, that's what I thought. Yeah. I thought that's what he was in with the Penguin, and then he also
Right.
played in this role where because does not look like himself.
No, yeah. So I'm saying yes, yeah. So
And so
that
those are two, they're the same thing.
right, yeah. So
Okay.
he was the Penguin in the movie, and then they made a show based off that character, which same actors, you know, Colin Farrell, and then who was that? I said Reese Myers.
Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
I know that. Who is that? I'm looking it up.
He was in that, okay, so he was
Oh, I
in The
see.
Tudors. That
Okay.
show, was it HBO or Showtime? I tried to watch that and I finally had to turn it off because it was just so,
I remember that show
just
being like
really
a
crass. It was like,
talked about a lot.
yeah, it was like the show was good, but it just kind of, I don't know, some of the camera
Turned you
angles,
off.
they would just like zoom in on a chick breathing heavy and while reading a book, but all you see are her boobs rising and falling. And I'm
Yeah, I
like,
heard it was that around
it
that
was
time.
very crass. I was like, all right, I'm done with this fucking show. Like, it's
Right.
just sex, you know? And it's like, all right.
Ben he was in Bend It Like Beckham. Did you ever watch that? Is that
Uh-uh.
oh
Uh,
not okay. Okay,
oh, he
cool.
was in oh yeah, he played this bishop in Vikings. Now I
I was
remember.
gonna say Vikings too, but I never really watched like we're talking about like the topic actors who we didn't know were British. Um or didn't we didn't know were from that a different country that were not American or whatever. Or maybe we didn't know that they were not British. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, something like
they're
that.
they were in
You
a
know.
show, they had an American accent. We always thought they were American, but they found out they're British. Or they were in a show or a movie where they had a British accent that was so convincing we didn't know they weren't British. All right, so one of them I would say first off is I'm not sure if you ever saw the show The Wire.
No, I never caught that one.
All right, amazing show. One of the best shows. If you look at almost any list of like top shows of like ever, like The Wire is always like top three. But anyway, you know who Idris Alba is?
Idris Alba.
Idris Alba, yeah,
No, I'm
yeah.
just asking, is that who you said? Yeah, I love that guy. He's a great actor.
Yes, he's British. He's got a British accent.
Yeah, he is. I knew he
Well,
was British.
the
Yeah.
very first time he was ever introduced to like the public really was in the show The Wire, where he was a black guy from Baltimore, and he was like
And
he
then
kind of
everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, and then yeah, he had this and like yeah, he had this like cool. He was like he sounded like a black guy from like he had like a hood vernacular, like the way he talked.
Uh-huh.
And then you saw him in the interview, and he was all proper British, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" It was shocking. That was blowing everyone's minds. Or ever there's this show called Snowfall. But yeah, I saw him in Snowfall, and he's like supposed to be this LA gay like LA kid from like the 80s with the crack epidemic, and he has this like real hard like LA accent. And
Uh-huh.
then it turns out like one of the guys from NWA was like his vocal coach. But then yeah, then I saw him in an episode of like what's that show Black Mirror, and he has like a hard British accent, and I was like, holy shit, which one is he? Is he British or is he American?
I know, right?
Yeah,
I
because
know.
they're both so convincing.
I'm trying to find where I saw him because I first saw him in Luther. Yeah,
Who?
that was the
Oh, he just
show.
well, interesting enough, this guy I'm talking
That
about
show was
his
so good.
Luther. Yeah, no, and then the movie. It was one of those shows I never actually got a chance to watch.
You should.
Enough to
It's
form an
worth
opinion. Yeah,
watching.
no, I've heard,
Yeah.
but it's always one of those ones. I was like, man, I kind of like. I know I'm gonna have to commit if I start watching this.
It's
But
only
anyway,
five
the
seasons.
oh, okay, that's like a lot. But anyway,
That's a
like
lot. Like, shut up.
but no, I'm saying I know if I start watching, it's one of those shows that I'm not gonna be able to quit. I'm gonna end up having to like watch every episode, and it's going to
Well,
consume
that's
my
generally
first
how
weeks.
watching a series works.
I
You sit
know, so
down and watch
I've
every episode.
I know, but I don't want to like
You don't want to
whatever.
commit to something right now. I know,
Right,
I feel
I'm
I'm
not
just
there.
giving you a
Yeah,
hard time. Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
not
there.
ready to commit.
I'm
I'm
not
not there
ready yet.
yet.
I'm not there yet. But interestingly enough, this other kid that I was talking about, his last name is Idris. So Idris Alba is the first guy we're talking about. This guy's name is Damson Idris. So his last name's Idris.
Interesting.
And yeah, but anyway,
Interesting.
yeah, Alba. But anyway, he's the one that I couldn't tell if he was either Brit because at first I saw him with a like an LA like gangster accent, and then all of a sudden I saw him with like this British accent. I couldn't tell which one he was. And it turns out, like I said, he was British, and he had like one of the guys from NWA was his vocal coach, like a DJ or something like that. And then of course there was I didn't know Christian Bale was British for like the longest time, or from Wales or where the fuck he's from.
No way.
Well, yeah,
I didn't know that. Oh, I'm thinking of Chris Nolan. My brain went to Chris Nolan. I know Christian Bale's British. Sorry.
Well, yeah, no, I'm saying
Yeah.
I did. Well, I did when I
Me either. I thought he was
Yeah.
American too.
It took a
Yeah.
while because like American Psycho. I didn't know he was
Mhm.
British when I saw
Yeah,
that.
that
He
was
in-
the first time I saw him too.
right, and he was in. Remember that movie Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson?
I never saw that one.
Yeah,
No.
I saw that. It was one of those ones I just I saw it briefly, but for some reason he was in that movie and he stuck out to me. And I think I saw like American Psycho like really close together. It's like, hey, that's the same guy, So that's why it stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like yeah, you would never think he was with those two roles. Of course, he's just a white guy from like Boston or something,
Yeah.
Never think he was like from Wales.
I know. I remember I like there's actors that are like, "Oh, they're from Wales." And I'm like, "What? There's a country named
Yeah.
Wales?"
They're Walians,
They're Walians. Like oh my God, it's like that sulfateman. Why is it not sulfateman?
yeah. So fake man. What was that from? Why do we? What was
Because
that from?
we were talking about that Friends episode at some
No, I
point
know
the
why.
other day,
Yeah,
but we were
but
drunk and high, and I forget what made us sing
sulfate.
Sulfate Man.
Yeah. That's what I thought. So I'm trying
Because
to come up with
because I
what
was
we call
like, yeah, because maybe were we talking about hair stuff? Because we were something about the sulfates or something, and
it. It
then
had to have been something.
yeah,
Something
and
that
then it was
smells
like
like sulfate.
Sulfate Man, and then
Yeah.
you're like, why is it not Sulfate Man?
Yeah. I think you had a Snapchat about that one too,
I
actually.
do. I sent it to you.
Oh man.
It
So
was
you
part of
said
that
Bateman?
glob of yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I can't believe I literally found all of the pictures, everything. Because the album ends in 2018, but I scrolled to the top and that motherfucker starts right when I moved to San Diego. And I was just going through all the pictures. I was like,
Oh wow. That's
holy
cool.
shit. And then it's
Holy
like when I
Grail.
started AI and like all of our videos and like I have so many pictures from that night at fucking House of Blues.
Right.
We were there a while because I have more pictures with people that I don't even remember taking. And when we finally made it to my friend's bar, like I still looked really cute. I was like, damn girl, you can hold your alcohol. And I even thought about it. I think me telling you not to be a shit show was probably just me. Like I knew I was going to be a shit show and we couldn't both be a shit show. I thought
Right.
about that. I was like, maybe on some level, I was like, you gotta hold it together because I'm
Right.
about to spin
Right.
out.
No, and then like the coup de grace was like we're writing back. You're like going off on a rant about the VA to the guy, and he was actually going back to it. He was like, "Yeah, no, fuck the VA." Yeah,
I know he hated him too. I
yeah,
know.
you guys were exchanging stories, so I was like, I can't even get in the middle of that. Just let him talk, man. Just let him cook. And then anyway, at some point, you were like laid your head on my lap. You're like, "Stop making this weird. Don't make this weird. Stop."
I know. I know.
I'm not doing anything.
I know. I was like, I'm really fucked up. Like, yeah, because that's the thing is like having dude friends. Like sometimes
Yeah.
they're cool, other times they fall in love with you, and
Stop
it's like just think of me
making
as
this
your
weird.
lesbian friend.
making this weird.
Yeah, don't
It's
make
like,
this weird.
I'm not. You're making this very about the VA right now.
I know. But I was really fucked up and I just wanted to lay down. But I didn't want it to get weird.
It did not get weird. The only thing that was weird was that how passionately you guys were aligned with the hatred for the VA.
Yeah, I still do. I really hate the VA. That's for another episode. That was interesting.
Yeah. This podcast is not just funny. Sometimes it's informative.
It's informative, yes, very informative.
Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes on Sunday. No, that's not it. Some days on Sunday. Sundays at some time. We'll figure it out.
No, it's Sundays at some point.
All right. Sundays at some point. There you go.
I'm keeping all of that in.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, sometime on Sunday.
I was getting the S's. The S's were there.
And then you're like, we'll work it out. I'm like,
Sunday.
this is Sunday.
Sundays.